Welcome back to the channel, everybody. It is More Money of the More Money Sports Network, the sports network for the sports fan. And today we cover episode 1 of The Last Dance, featuring the Chicago Bulls 97-98 run. And it kind of goes back and forth because the episode starts with a montage of Bulls highlights over the years. And then it goes to the preseason where they explicitly detail in the very beginning that Michael and Scotty and the rest of the team are having trouble with management, specifically Jerry Krause, and how Michael wanted to keep the team together until they lost, which tells me that Mike was willing to lose in the finals if he lost his championship. But Jerry Krause was getting very bitter about not getting any of the credit, or what he perceived as not getting any of the credit, which was going to Phil, Michael, and Scotty. Now, with that being said, they did manage to come to a 1 year agreement with Phil Jackson to coach this Bulls team after Michael said, I should not be put in a position to have to choose between playing basketball and playing for another coach. And if there's a rebuild and Phil's not the coach, I won't be here. And, with all that being said, they came to the 1 year deal. And they said that Phil had a theme every year. And I guess this year, because he knew it was his last year, he named it The Last Dance, which is the name of the documentary. Now, he told, or as Phil tells the story, Jerry Krause told him that even if you go 82-0 and win 16 straight playoff games, this is your last year as the coach. So that's what they have to build on. And Michael was like, why would you want to rebuild when we're the best team in the league? It doesn't make any sense. And he took a shot at the Chicago Cubs, being like, the Cubs have been rebuilding for 45 years and they still haven't won anything, so a rebuild doesn't guarantee you anything. But Jerry Krause was adamant that organizations win championships and players and coaches don't do that alone. And how wrong was he? Because the Bulls haven't been back since. But it's just one of those things. And then it goes to Michael's journey through North Carolina, his freshman year, where they get Coach Roy on the film. And he said, Michael said, I worked just as hard as anybody else to be here. And Coach Roy Williams says, yeah, I thought you just told me you wanted to be the best player that ever played here. And he says, you watch, nobody will ever outwork me. So they then show highlights of Michael's North Carolina freshman year and how they go through the season. And his teammate James Worthy said, I was better than him for about 2 weeks, which I thought was quite funny. But if you're enjoying this content, please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. It really does help the channel. And then, so they go through the last play where Worthy's inbounding. Georgetown is in a 1-3-1 defense, and they swing the ball around. And as the defense is collapsing, they find Michael open in the corner for the game-winning shot. And then they're at the championship celebration, and he says, "Well, I'm at North Carolina. I hope to win 3 or 4 more of these, or 2 or 3 more of these." And Mike was going to come back to North Carolina to play his senior year because it's actually said in the documentary that he was comfortable at Chapel Hill and he didn't want to go. And he was undecided, and the coach kind of talked him into it. He said, "You're ready to go, and you could be a top 3 or 4 pick here." And so he left. So who knows what could have happened if Mike stayed that extra year and went somewhere else. And then the GM, after a couple of weeks, got a call. And it was funny because he said, "Congratulations." And he said, "For what? You didn't mess this draft up." He said, the GM said, or the assistant GM or the scout or whoever it was said within 2 weeks everybody knew he was the best player on that team. And Mike tells a story about how wild his teammates were, because at this point Mike was just keeping to himself. He didn't do anything bad at the time, and he was just keeping to himself. And he's like, I gotta get out of here, otherwise I'm just as guilty as the rest of these guys. And he said, I think I earned my stripes around game 3 because that's when they played the Milwaukee Bucks, and they were down by 9 at the end of the third quarter, and everybody was kind of resigned to the fact that they were going to lose the game. And then Mike said, "But the game isn't over." And then the coach kind of sensed that Mike was ready to go, and he brought them all back, and the Bulls ended up winning that game. And he said from that point on, he said the rest of the team was like, "This rookie's not going to let us lose." And so that became the legend of Michael Jordan. And then they go through a highlight montage of his rookie season in Chicago, and then they go back to present day as they start their season, and they have the ring ceremony at 97-98 for the 96-97 championship. And Mike says, well, we need your support now more than ever. And there's montage of fans as well saying like, if you're not seeing Michael Jordan, you're missing out. And a bunch of them were asked, well, the Bulls players were asked, what's so special about this dynasty? And they were like, we got Mike. And actually, during the montage, one of the funniest things that I remember seeing was the fact that as they were playing the highlight reel, it was "Ain't No Joke." I ain't no joke by Mike. But they also talked about how Mike was very, very angry with management, being like, we're the champions. We deserve to lose. We deserve to defend our title until we lose it, which is why I say he was willing to lose. But the thing is, Mike was a different kind of cat. There was just something about him that makes him, in my opinion, the greatest player of all time. So when somebody asks you who is the greatest player of all time, did you know you could say number 23, Michael Jordan? Because most people do. All due respect to LeBron, but this last dance showed me that Mike was something special. And they showed at the draft where Hakeem Olajuwon, as they kept going back and forth, was drafted number 1 by the Houston Rockets. And Sam Bowie, the amazing Sam Bowie, snap, snap, wink, wink, um, was drafted number 2 by Portland. And Michael Jordan was number 3. And the scout, I guess at the time for Chicago, said, we were just lucky that that draft was before the Olympics, because at the Olympics, Mike showed out and became the best amateur player that he'd ever seen. And those are my thoughts on episode 1. Again, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It will really help us out. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, may your ego come from a place that keeps you humble. I'm Mo Money. Mamba out.